What's up everybody, welcome to Money Management channel. My name is Andrei and today I'm gonna be doing an update on MMTLP and FINRA saga.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed, born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up.
And guys, on today's video I will show you quite interesting news. I will show you the issues that that might be the obstacles on our way to resolution, and I will show you that these obstacles are made by the people who are inside the MMTLP community. And I will show you these issues from the both sides, from the side who pursue the so-called non-litigational path to the resolution and from the other side as well. On top of that, I will show you, quite interesting investigation that not so many people want to pay their attention to. And, I will show you quite impressive part of this story that will be extremely interesting for you as an MMTLP shareholders. And before we dive deep into all of this, if you want to know more about technical analysis, if you want to enhance your trading skills, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel
and join my Patreon account. And guys, this is the post that I wrote on January the 30th. It is a public post that you can find on my Patreon. It is pretty much all trade alerts that I made from December the 1st to January the 30th. These are the results of these alerts. You can see that all of the trades were in profit except this one on December 19th. TRWV hit a stop loss order and we've lost about 1.33% on this trade, but all other trades are in green. That is why you can use these trades in your personal trades as a part of your due diligence. So guys, you've seen many of my trade calls, all delivering strong returns in just hours. Now it's your turn to trade smarter. Join my Safe Haven Patreon tier, built for traders who want consistency, structure and real results. You will get a detailed plan to protect your portfolio, monthly one-on-one Zoom sessions with me and private Discord access with all trade alerts, lessons and exclusive updates. And here is the best part. If you don't earn more than your subscription price within 30 days, you will receive a full refund, no question asked, as long as your trading account balance is at least $2,500 and you've taken all the recommended trades during the period. No excuses, no fine print. You profit or you don't pay. Join today and let's start building your edge in the market.
And let's begin today's video with this tweet that was written by Junk Savvy just yesterday. She wrote, "When your default position is transparency never, why bother to feign good faith, meet and confer? I mean other than it is the law." And she refers to the tweet that was written by George Palacros again just yesterday, and he wrote this in response to his own tweet. Let me show you this tweet first of all. He wrote, document 2677, the trustees' response to FINRA is very interesting. 1. FINRA failed to meet and confer. They filed motion within 2 weeks and didn't engage on scope. This matters legally. Courts hate discovery gamesmanship. Undermines FINRA's undue burden defense. 2. FINRA holds unique market-wide data and the other defendants, Citadel, Virtu, etc. literally pointed to FINRA as the source. This is critical because establishes necessity plus non-duplicative value. And the second one directly defeats Rule 45 cumulative objection. 3. FINRA investigated MMTLP, therefore they already collected the evidence and likely the non-privileged underlying data already exists. The trustee is not asking FINRA to create data, just produce what it already gathered. 4. Investigative privilege is not absolute and must pass balancing test. Translation: FINRA can't hide third-party communications behind privilege. 5. CAT data bombshell. This is one of the most important sections. The trustee proves that the CAT plan explicitly allows disclosure via subpoena, meaning that FINRA's claim we cannot produce CAT data equals false. In my opinion, this one section alone is devastating to FINRA's credibility. 7. Speculation risk, new argument. As we all heard this week, the SEC approved that FINRA can delete CAT after 3 years. This section introduced urgency, so if not produced, it will lead to evidence disappears. Overall, I'm not a lawyer, but I believe this Doc 2677 filing A. destroys FINRA procedural posture and B. frames FINRA as an obstructive and non-cooperative party who are possibly misleading the court. More to follow. Thank you, Keycap. And guys, I have to admit that these facts are very important because, I want to see more transparency from authorities, and this transparency for now is hiding behind the total immunity. And with these facts, you can see that they definitely don't want to disclose some data that might be important in our case. On top of that, George Palkaros added this: bad faith or just bad form. The trustee could not have been more direct. Rushing to file its motion without responding to the trustee's question violated local rule 7037, requiring parties to meet and confer. Lawyers say it all the time. Courts expect good faith negotiation before motion practice. Yet here, the record suggests FINRA may have skipped the conference and gone straight to the comfort of motion practice. No doubt there will be explanations, they usually are, but when process is bypassed, the question becomes unavoidable. Was this about resolving a dispute or avoiding one? And right on cue, the supporting cast tends to arrive: keyboard console, anonymous analysts, and the ever-reliable chores of institutional defendants. Because in modern markets, it is not just about order flow, it is about narrative flow. Still, one principle remains unchanged. Before you move to quash, you are expected to pause and confer. Happy Easter and blessings to all. And guys, yes, I think it is very important to have more transparency, as I already mentioned, and with this data, unfortunately, with the most recent updates from the MMAT bankruptcy case, we don't have even a signs of this transparency from the authorities' side. That is why, guys, this issue is not so simple that you might think, and as I mentioned previously, it is not the only part of this story who might be guilty in your damages. Let me show you another quite interesting update, this time from Sam, and she wrote it basically in response to the activity from Junk Savvy side. And Sam wrote: when Junk Savvy pretends the MMTLP army wasn't organized before the halt and couldn't have possibly been responsible for harassment that FINRA says cost employees to work from home, she must be thinking we don't remember the FINRA Do Your Job campaign. And she added several screenshots that proves that unfortunately, guys, MMTLP community wasn't so polite, first of all, and it was a very unpleasant tweets that led to make FINRA that decision to work from home back in 2022, and it was a real threat for the FINRA workers. Unfortunately, guys, I told you that we have to be professional and we have to be polite, and only in this case our community will be much louder than we are right now, and only in this case we will have more chances to solve this problem. In response to Sam's tweet, Scott Roth wrote the following: "You are missing the biggest issue with Junk Savvy. She shows up on scene November 2022, bags ready to unpack as she heads for the microphone with an entourage of a few inflators and a bot program to pump her numbers and lead the homeless Canadians to the promised land. She has virtually instant legal advice and proudly announces she has inside information that she can't reveal across the last few years. But the November 2022 join and then jumping on a stage with her stick as if on cue, and people wonder why I see all kinds of dirty hands in this entire scam." Guys, unfortunately, a lot of people who are right now trying to solve this problem, back in the days, they did some actions that was not so legal. We know that it was real pump and dump actions from the majority of YouTube channels, which basically disappeared when the U3 halt happened, and I believe that they were paid. The only channel that is consistently trying to show the evidence of this story from both sides is my channel. And you know that Ali is trying to do the same, but he is a one-sided person because he has an MMTLP shares, and that is why he has a confirmation bias. Unfortunately, I am the only source that you can rely on if you want to know both sides of the story. So let me show you another evidence that that people benefited out of the MMTLP community, and they originally pretended that they are the part of this community. Roman Soups reposted the tweet from Jennifer Vetrano, and Jen wrote this on April the 2nd. Where is Ham? Ham Short Killer? What happened to the movie we all donated to? No one seems to want to answer my question, and people want to know. Over to you after 100 mph. And we know that back in 2023, Ham Short Killer made a fundraiser campaign to collect some money to make a video financial terrorism in America. And Jennifer Vetrano also basically donated $50. And since then, guys, we don't have any information about this film. Did Ham Short Killer make this film or not? I don't know. But it is not the only example how people tried to benefit from the MMTLP community. On top of that, guys, Jen Vetrano also wrote this, and this is the evidence of the campaign, of harassing campaign. Let me show you this. The worst kind of men are those that constantly pick on and harass women in person or in social media. If this is the MMTLP community, keep it. And she also tagged Laker J and Jack Smithy AAL. And she refers to her own tweet that she wrote just 12 hours ago, another example of targeting harassment defamation in the MMTLP cult community. I meant exactly what I said in my post. I don't mix up my words. Sometimes foreigners don't understand different meanings or expressions. Sarah. I speak 3 languages as well, learning my 4th in karate, Korean. Do you have anything else to critique, Jackie? And guys, she refers to the tweet that she wrote just recently, and Jack pointed to that tweet and he made a conclusion that Jennifer used the wrong word in her expression. But guys, this tweet explains that she meant exactly what she said in her post. That is why, guys, all these type of attacks from one part of the community to another doesn't help to solve the problem. We have to be professional, as I mentioned previously. On top of that, guys, let me pay your attention to one of the most important part of today's video. Scott wrote just several days ago, wrote another quite important fact that was proven by the lawsuit, and let me pay your attention to this tweet. Boom and boom again. Another case that Kicap won't tell you about or cover, because it is not in the narrative she has to support, nor will the paid NBH consultant Junk Savvy and her entourage of homeless shelter residents do likewise. Maybe the greasy busy brands, another McCabe and Christian surrogate, will run with this. And he added this story. Filed on March 18, 2026, oddly enough, the same day that Davis was sued by NBH. It looks like someone is making the big move against McCabe in US District Court, West Texas. Is he going to lose control of NextBridge hydrocarbons? The claim is based on brutal mathematics for NBH and MMTLP shareholders. McCabe made as much as $78 million of dumping 11% of the MMTLP shares before the U3 halt. Yeah, McCabe sure did have his shareholders back unloading for a fortune. Bartok versus McCabe lays it all out, describing decades long McCabe and Pell's malfeasance, the same sort of stuff that has them revising their books from 2024 cheesesteak, with another stroll down memory lane regarding how Meta created NBH and how as early as 2014 there was proof that there wasn't enough oil in the Orogrande to lubricate a bike chain. But I digress. The main attack vectors of the Bartok case are on behalf of NextBridge. That's the goal of the derivatives case, basically the ultimate hostile takeover of a company to protect shareholders. In a sense of these brackets, MMTLP shareholders' interests in a few ways. It gives people trapped in EQ via transfer possible claims against the D&O for NBH directors and personal claims against McCabe, Burda Dubos, etc. And it also sets the table to those not in EQ can look at lawsuits against the Meta estate. Though long shots, because only the insiders and attorneys usually make out those sorts of cases. But here's the big three thrusts of the lawsuit. 1. Pay damages to the company for the harm caused. The lawsuit's biggest demand is that the court order the individual directors and officers like Gregory McCabe, Clifton Dubos and others to pay NextBridge Hydrocarbons a large sum of money, jointly and together, for all the financial damage the company suffered. This includes the losses from issuing misleading information in the spin-off documents that vastly overvalued the worthless oil and gas assets, plus the cost of defending the related securities class action lawsuit, internal investigations and wasted corporate resources. Force the company to overhaul its corporate governance and internal controls. The suit asks the court to require NextBridge to completely reform how it is run, so this kind of misconduct can't happen again. Specific changes include giving shareholders more power to nominate board members, strengthening board oversight of operations, and creating real procedures to make sure the company follows the law, accurately reports asset values, and prevents insiders from putting personal interests ahead of the company's. 3. Make the executives give back any money they unfairly kept or received. The complaint demands that the defendants personally return through restitution any compensation, benefits or profits they received because of the wrongdoing, such as excessive pay, bonuses or other gains tied to the inflated assets valuation or the spin-off that left new shareholders with a nearly worthless company. This prevents them from profiting at the company's and shareholders' expense. Anyway, this is a whole shebang. And he added the link to this case. And guys, as you can see, Greg McCabe has another lawsuit against him, and the allegations are quite important, and these allegations might also be important for MMTLP community, because all of you are the shareholders of the company, and Scott is trying to pursue quite interesting path to the resolution. He wants to prove that the MMAT and MMTLP spin-off was illegal at the very beginning, and if so, guys, you will be a part of a bankruptcy case, and in this case it will be a personal responsibility of the people who orchestrated this story, and they will have to pay damages. And you see that at least $78 million were made out of the MMTLP shareholders by Greg McCabe alone. And these damages, well, it should be reversed and it should be paid to the company, and company should, in my opinion, pay this to the shareholders. So I think that's all information that I want to provide you. If you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel with notification bell, and see you guys and girls next time. Bye!
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed.